Hello everybody. Today our team will do the suggestion of changing teaching English program as well as how can we improving the way students learning English at Greenwich University, especially in Ho Chi Minh City. So our team include is me, Tấn Phát, and Phi Ánh, Yến Vi, Hồng Phúc, and Hương Trà. Yes, there are some main points of our suggestion. The first of all is the vision and the whole picture. Next is the stakeholder. And the third is the barriers. And next is how can we overcome the barrier. And the last one, that is some theory of leadership style as well as how can we manage the conflict. Now, let's start. First of all, I want to say about the vision. This is why we have to change. As we know that we are the student of the international university. I want to focus that this is international. That means when we graduate at this school, we have to work in the multinational company as well as we have to communicate with the foreigner. We have to open our career back. But are you believe in your English? You are confident, or you are still shy because you lack of the knowledge. So based on many research, based on the articles, we know that the person or the people who know about English can get more than 6 times about the salary of the people or the person who don't know about English. So we see that the English is very important. But why we not good about English? It's because the way to teaching or it's because about your mindset. So in our team, we think it is both. So that is the reason why we have to change and why we have to make sure our mindset that English is very important. Because in the future, when you have the good English, the good confidence, we can easy to go with our career path in the future. So next, my friend will show you how and who is the stakeholder of our suggestion.
Based on the survey of 50 people, 80% they don't confident about their English, 20% they confident about their English, and 100% they feel boring when they study English. How do we deal with this situation? As a student of University of Greenwich, I feel the English program have main theory than a practical, and the teaching style of teacher hasn't been a practical. That is two main reasons why affect mentorism affect about the special life program of students. They cannot know anything. Teacher want to transition in their special life program, and teacher always to make the important about the grammar and the topic teacher to teaching to students not really exciting, and this that is a reason why in this situation the student is the main stakeholder.
Continue with Miss An opinion, I can pinpoint stakeholder he can that include student, teacher, and executive board. When we put the three objects on this scale to compare their influence on our suggestion, we can see the executive board is considered more important than the other two objects. Why I said the executive board is considered more important? I can say that because the executive board is directly the person who decide whether on our suggestions will be accepted and implemented. about the target audience and the supporter also have three objects. The first of all is the student. The student needs to study practice more than the theories, as Miss Anh have proven above. And the second is a teacher. The teacher have direct contact with the students, so the teacher will have the executive broad capture a most specific student situation. Therefore, the teacher will support the student by new and effective teaching methods. And the last is executive broad. Executive broad will be the one who works with the teacher and have the teacher make the requirement and the teaching methods. Besides the executive process, it is necessary to have and support the teacher create the condition of connect offline English theory and
I will talk about the method and barrier of suggestion of genuine English teaching program. I would say it involves three parts. That is student, teacher, and executive board. The first, that's the student. I believe that most of you understand about the importance of English. That is very good. But I also believe some other haven't realize the importance of in English. We learn to pass the subject, learn grammar, but it is hard to apply. So the first method is open the orientation for students, especially a new student. It helps the student can understand about the importance of English. So as we know, the meeting or orientation is boring. So the student don't want to participate, or the student don't have time to participate. That is for student. And for teacher, I have our method have to idea for student, and for teacher our methods has to idea. The first idea is create the outside activity for student. That's the opportunity for student can meet, communicate, play game with foreigner. And the second idea is invite the native teachers, the student. It have a student can hear and react. So method have student more confident can listen and reaction easily, and improve the English skill of student. And that is for student. And the last one for the executive for the school create the scholarship for students who achieve high score. It will motivate students to try. Of course, it will be increase the quality of students. However, there are so many get scholarship. The school needs to pay a lot of money to reward. It is very difficult without funding. And see our method and barrier on method based on the transformational leadership and transitional leadership.
Give you some suggestions that I think it can help us overcome the barrier. First, I will talk about the barrier of the student. I think the executive board need to obligatory the student participating on the orientation day. And why I saw that obligatory? Because in this day I want the teacher can give the student the info clearly and detailed information for this question, how they can pass the English level. For the teacher, we can add in the outside activities for the student in timetable, and we check attendance for them. If they do not attend enough the day that required, they can fail the levels, and we can choose the last of the on the week to make the outside activities. For example, in the previous time we study English on day of the week, so we choose the Friday or Saturday for the activity outside, and they can make them feel free, feel comfortable. And suggestion for the teacher is inviting the native teacher. I think with the FPT system, we can invite more native teacher in English Center to give them, to have them practice the skill. For executive board, I think with the large system like FPT, we can connect with another partner to find the investor for the funding. And I think if they want to have the intern or employee has the best skill and knowledge, they will invest for the funding. The second suggestion of the seek the funding is we can send the letter for the Greenwich University in England and give them some advantage if they invest for the funding, like they can increase the output for the university and increase the level of the school in Vietnam.
So now let's talk about some theories. So how our suggestion can run? We have to use the transactional leadership style, because in this leadership we have to use the partners as well as the rewards to manage the subordinates, can have them follow us by use power. This is for the short term. That means at the first of the time we have to use the style to make it run, and the next we can use the transformational leadership style, because in this leadership style we can motivate them, influence, make them trust us. That is good. English is good, and then they know about these theories, they will follow you, but it's for the long term. So last but not least, I want to talk about the acceptance of conflict of the interest possible. So in this stage, I want to show who are the stakeholders we have to add more in our suggestion. So as we know that we have to invite many investors in our suggestion to give the scholarship for the student who gets the highest point at the English class. So when we have to invite them, that means we have to give them something. For example, they will become a partner of our university. The brand of them will show in our university. So I think that is a good connect. FPT and the RINIS have the good connection with many schools. So I think it's quite easy for school to do this. And the next is the input as well as the output. I want to mention that the input is the input of the teacher, because we know that nowadays in Vietnam many native speakers work as the teacher position, but they do not have the certification of teaching or the education. So if they want to become a teacher as our Greenwich University, that means they must have the certification of teaching or certification of education. Because when they have this certification, they easy to influence our student. They easy to teach them, and as well as the student more easily to understand what they want to show with us. So, and finally, that's it I want to say about the conflict. Many situations always have the conflict. So I think that we have to use the Ram-Him model to solve and to manage the conflict. In each of conflicts, we can use each of style of this model to manage this. And Moreover, we can use this model that is Levin model. That is freezing now in the old system. We change it. We choose something better, something good results, then we refreeze it. And I think that so in our suggestion, I want to say that the student as well as the teacher, they are the significant elements in our suggestions. I think our suggestion quite hard if we give it directly for the executive board. So based on our team, we think that we can convince a teacher who are the person directly work with the student. They can use our program, our new teaching in like the demo classes them for a half of the month or a month to years. If after that it have a good or the better result, we can offer it to the executive board. But I want to say that in this new program, it's quite difficult because when we have difficult thing, the student will work hard. When you work hard, you can get more knowledge. And when you can get more knowledge, you will become better in the future. And because English is very, very important for us, that is the reason why I want to change this system. I want you make sure your mindset that you must study English well. It's good for you, not only today, but also your future career. Thank you so much for listening and good luck to you guys.